What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day. Working on a store order today. Hey, Gail. How's it going? Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you? Thanks for tuning in always. It's nice to see you in here. Working on that store order today, so I'm gonna be making what I call footed herb pots for pretty much only stores get these. So that's what's going on. It's going good. Nice. Good to hear. We've been really on sync lately. Oh, cool. Actually, that's a great question. Finally, a question about that. We always get a ghost reference. Thank you for answering that. Is the pottery scene from movie it's factually accurate? Somebody made that pot, and it looked like it was going to be a very nice pot, very hard to throw pot, and then it looked like they just went in there and destroyed it. So it was accurate that they didn't know what they were doing, I guess. That's actually a good question about that movie. I like that. Is it factually accurate? From a certain point of view, they ruined it. So I just really hope they didn't have to do multiple takes. The poor potter, like, come on, man, they just made that awesome pot. Go and ruin it. 'Cause it was a good looking pot. Second, what is this? You ever hear the music? Well, that's another question I always get. No, I don't. In fact, I don't even know what scene you're talking about. I don't even know. But no, just kidding. I don't listen to Unchained Melody over and over again. Almost pin that comment, to be honest with you. That way we know it's out of the way. Yeah, exactly. There's no way she made that pot. Exactly, Gail. She didn't. There's no way. Will pottery ever be able to be automated? Yeah, there already is. It's called ram pressing. So it's just a machine that goes, with a hydraulic press with a male and female die, they call them. And yeah, so it most certainly is. It has been for a long time. So, yeah. Fernando, what's going on? Don't know what you said. I only speak English, but welcome to you. Hope you're having a good day. These are all going to a store in Ohio. They've been buying pots from me for probably a good 15 years or so. So they're one of the only stores that I still will ship to. really want to be shipping to stores anymore. Palletizing is expensive for both parties. So, but these guys make an exception for because they've been supported from a very long time ago. Succulent says, what was your biggest mess up? Not starting pottery earlier and not dropping out of high school to do this, because this has been a great thing. I don't know, that's just a joke, but kinda. I wish I went full time with it earlier. And so yeah, doesn't feel like a mess up, but kinda in a way it does. Aaron, I don't know what that comment means, Aaron. I was thinking about taking pottery. Do you enjoy it? And is it starting? Is starting it relatively easy? It really depends on the person. Yeah, of course I enjoy it. I mean, I've done this for a living since the 90s, so, or the 1900s, I should say. So, I definitely enjoy it. I did tons of other jobs before, and I always made pots on the weekends with my dad. So finally it took over, and I was able to do full time with it. So, yeah, I would suggest just taking a class and see how it feels for you. Some people it's easier for than others, but easy, I guess, is a state of mind. Are you rich from pottery? I'm rich with happiness from it. How do you price your work? Is it weight mostly and shape? Yeah, basically weight for flower pots and stuff, and then for other things I do, I just kind of, I don't know, I just decide a price. But yeah, so that's what I'm stamping on the side of the pot. It's my name and a number, which indicates the poundage of wet clay used. So the poundage kind of indicates a price scheme for me. So that's the way I do it anyway. Everybody's got their different methods. But there's also pieces that come out that I'm like, all right, that one should be a little more because of the stuff that went into it. So, Martin, how's it going? Good afternoon to you too. Hope you're doing well. So I'm doing a wholesale order or store order, as they say. So all these pots will be going out to Ohio. Ohio. Joyce, good afternoon to you. Hope you're doing well. What's the difficulty of, well, no, it's really not that difficult, to be honest with you. It's like a high school thing to do. Yeah. I mean, you're checking the list off for the Pottery Bingo card today, bud. You're really checking it off for me. But that shouldn't be your goal if you're trying to try to make pots, is to make one of those. That'd be it. Just a sad goal. Sabrina, how's it going? Good to see you in here. Hope you're doing well today. Ross. That's funny. Well, at least I'm not the Jeff Ross, where I'm just gonna roast you back nonstop. Gail says, are there ever pots that you take out of the kiln and say this one or that one is for me? No. Actually, it's funny if there's any like time there's a catastrophe or like say like one pits or one something happens, or has a crack, I put those off to the side and because I always have friends be like, oh, give me your pots for free, you know. And I think they don't understand because they all have normal jobs. So I'm like, yeah, sure, you could take these ones that are cracked and broken, which there's not many of them, but I don't know. Every once in a while, there's something that happens, but I guess actually that's not true, Gail. Sometimes during the stoneware firings, there's a few vases that I'd like to keep those, but I don't know. It ends up when you don't have like a huge house to be able to store all this stuff. It ends up being like, well, should I keep them, or should they go live in a house where they actually will get used? And so it's rare. I mean, there's been pots that I've made for sure that, you know, my wife has been like, can we please keep that one because I'd like to have that in the garden. So, but as for me personally, no, not really. Kind of just make them. This one needs to be pulled out just a tiny bit more. Thanks for the likes, guys. Appreciate it. Gail says, my cupboards are full of seconds, and sometimes I fall in love for myself. Yes. There you go. I like that. Yeah, the cupboards here are kind of, I like purchasing other people's stuff for my own usage. So, kind of do that. Not fully. But I also just kind of use whatever. I'm not a wasteful person, so I kind of, if there's you get mugs handed down to you or whatever stuff that was handed down to you from families, family heirloom, whatever you want to call them. We've hung on to those and used them. I mean, there's some of those plates that we use and stuff. We probably should not be using them. We probably should have, sold them or something because they're worth a lot of money. But at the same time, it's kind of like, what's the point? What's the point of having them if you're not going to use them for specific things? I mean, if it was a Ming Dynasty vase, I wouldn't use it as a doorstop. Not that I have one of those. Mountain says, do you end up getting a lot of business? Technology is better and better. And I end up getting a lot. I've been doing this since the 90s, so everything I've earned has been from my two hands for a long time. So I do get a lot of business. I'm very lucky that way. But yeah, I understand your question, but it's there's people out there that actually want things made by a human, so, and I'm grateful for those people, and I kind of make pots for those people. So a lot of people that are saying, I don't want that. Why, you can get things for cheaper made by a machine, but why not get something that an actual human made? There's something more real about what you're holding, and you can feel it. You can feel the energy went into it, and care and whatnot. So Gail says I use everything I have. Nice. Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, there's a few vases that I do not put anything in that are, old and very old and special to me. So, but majority of things I use. Yeah, Gail says no machine can reproduce the feel of a handmade. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. And you can tell when you pick something up, even if it's like a hand woven basket. It's like, yeah, somebody made this. This wasn't just made on a. I don't know. Well, I don't know if machines make those, but they probably do. Or blankets, like we use quilts that my aunt made, and yeah, there's something different about those than just buying something right off of a Walmart shelf. Yes, I agree. I like shopping at craft fairs. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been able to go out to craft fairs and whatnot. I used to vend a lot, so when I was there, I would get a moment usually before and after the show, and I'd go around and see if there's something that really caught my eye, and a lot of times I'd end up kind of like, it just naturally happened. People would come in and be like, "Oh, I want to get one of your things." I'm like, "Well, you're over at that booth over there," and then they would, we'd end up like trading something, which was funny. Yeah. And I still really enjoy the things that I got from those. Even though I haven't been a vendor, so to speak, out at any fairs in a long time. That was a huge portion of my life when I was in my youth. I'd drive all around and go do vending things. I'd be standing in a tent in the rain. All right, just gonna move these off to the side. Just made faster. So what I do is I make them all in these bats, guys. So I go and I take these and I put them on stands behind me. Arm's a little sore today, that's for sure. Did a lot of stuff yesterday and this morning, basically. Arms are killing today. I have no idea what you just wrote, and I don't even know how to say your name. Kit. So, I only speak English, sorry, but hope you're doing well, if that's something kind that you wrote. And either way, if you didn't, I hope you're doing well. $16 likes already, guys. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's always nice to see the like button hit. one needs a little different of a approach to finish off. There we go. Well, a lot of these got to get made to fulfill this order. And this is kind of the season where usually by March everybody is gung ho for spring. A lot of stuff's been going on with the weather that does not make it feel like spring. I don't know if a lot of people are running out and doing their normal thing that they have for the last at least 5 years. Have been different weather stuff. This year, I would imagine Phil saw a shadow. I didn't keep track of it, but I'm sure he did. If he didn't, I don't know what he's thinking. I'm sorry, your arms hurt? Is your clay soft? No, it's not soft. No, it's hard and hard, whatever. I'm not sorry to complain. I really don't mean to be complaining, but you know, doing this over and over and over again, it is just a constant daily thing where your arms get sore, and yeah, it's just a thing. So I'm sorry if I was complaining. Really didn't mean it to come off that way. It's just there's certain days where you're like, man, it's getting a little painful. What's it? Kenya? Am I saying that right? Kenya? Hello? Hello to you. How are you? Let's see. Joy says, do you ever put this type of piece in your online shop? Actually, for stores, I don't. I leave specific shapes just for the stores. That way there's no conflict of interest or pricing or whatever the stores end up doing with the pots. And that way they actually have something that I'm not selling on my website. So when they go to the stores, they're actually getting something that that really nobody else has. Well, I don't have to sell. So and I do that literally because I just think it's a wise decision for stores to have something that they feel like, well, they can't just go to Ben and buy this. So sometimes I do this shape in a squat format rather than a tall for the website, like in my one-of-a-kinds and whatnot. But if you really wanted one of these, you can always, reach out and let me know, and I can make you one. But, and I call these the footed herb pots, and these are full pots, full as in same height and same width. These end up being about 6.5 by 6.5, something like that. Yeah, somewhere around there. But if you put like thyme in these, I call them footed herb pots. You couldn't put anything in them, but in the beginning, when I started making these, it's kind of hard to come up with names. And one of my stores that was selling were like, we plant solely herbs in these just because the way they look. And I was like, hey, that's cool, footed herb pot. There you go. How about that? Kind of let it name themselves. Let the gardeners name them for me. Other pots I've given regular names to. No, you weren't complaining. I was being motherly. Yeah, you remind me of my Hold this up. Okay, Gail, thank you. Nah, it's just production pottery with hard clay is taxing. But thank you, Gail. Keena's, am I saying that right, Keena? Or Kenya? Glad I'm able to join your live today. Thanks. I've been curious about your tools. What do you get, or do you get the rollers and create the rope and Celtic patterns under the rims? Very different things happen there. So, loaded question. The rope design I make myself. There's kind of a method I've done that I've kind of left as a trade secret for a long time. The Celtic design was something actually that I found, but I just find things. Like this one gives like a dot design, and that literally is a Nesquik top. You can see the ears of the the rabbit. So, and that gives like a kind of a dotted rim. So I find things, I see things, I look at things and go, hey, that might be used as a tool. So for other things, I mean, you could literally find like an antique doorknob that has a nice dot on the side of it, and that could be a cool little tool right there if you hook it up together. So yeah, thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate it. Joyce, okay, I really like these. Yeah, thanks, Joyce. Appreciate that. Smile with grace. Hey, how's it going, Smile? Smile right back at you. But yeah, mainly I make my own tools. Like this, I made my own rib. This is my own stamp. I made the stamp I didn't make, but the piece of wood that's connected to it. My little cutter I made. And you can make your own tools. You know, I think that's my funnest, or my, it's not a word. The most fun part about a lot of the stuff that I do is making your own tools. It takes forever to make one, and it's got to come out right. And yeah, but once you find something too, and you look at something, you're like, that could be used as a tool. That's where the artist brain is, because I see it in everything. I mean, there's a little tool right here. This one's funny to do. This is a peanut butter jar lid. Yeah. Or is that peanut butter? That might be an old Folgers like instant coffee lid or something. I'm pretty sure that's peanut jar. Nathan says hi. Hi, Nathan. How are you? Thanks for tuning in today, guys, and thanks for all the likes. Appreciate you guys. Hope everybody's having a good day. This piece, I can feel that there's a hard chunk in there, but again, I'm going to throw through it. As long as there's not a big bump on the exterior, it'll be good. If there's a little bump on the inside, it's a big deal. It gets planted in. But if it's on the outside and it's a very visual deterrent, then down the road I will take that pot and play baseball with it. Nathan says, I don't know how to break it. Work. Nice. What do you do for work, Nathan? We're good. We're good. This one ends up being all right. There we go. Cleaned it right up. I see pottery really forces you to think outside of the box at times. Do you ever trim? Yeah, I trim specific things, and I trim these, but not very much. I set these up. You know, this pot here really doesn't need much. what I'm doing right here is just taking away a little bit of clay, and that really sets up the trimming process for tomorrow. And I kind of make it so I try to do it the most I can to alleviate having to trim for the flower pots. I mean, aside from obviously cleaning up the drainage hole, making sure the edges are whatever, but no, if I'm making like vases or bowls or mugs or whatever, then I'll end up doing some trimming. But I use as much clay as possible so I don't have to trim that much. You know, being a production potter, trimming can, you know, I don't leave stuff really heavy and then cut away. I've always felt like, hey, that's a lot of potters do that, and it ends up coming out great. But I've always felt that was you know, just another process to avoid, because I feel like I can get there without having to do a lot of that process. Obviously, certain items you can't avoid it. But yeah, that would be more like lathe work, it feels like. Going through these pretty quick. I got 20 of these to do, and then I got to do some bigger versions of these. Let's see, electrical worker. Oh, and a crane operator? Cool. That's nothing to bark at, man. Those crane, if you're an actual crane operator, you have your crane operator license, that's not an easy one to pass. I know a guy that's a crane operator instructor that does the tests here in Connecticut. What colors, if any, will you fire these? These actually will all be white or a gray finish. And in fact, I could take a look at the order. Hang on one second. All right, 50-50. 50% of these will be white, 50% of these will be. So. They emailed saying that, well, they ordered some for Christmas season, and they emailed saying they were so popular we need to get them back immediately. It's like, okay. And it's funny because, I mean, they've had my pots for, they've bought them at least once or twice a year for, I don't know, 15 years now. Overhead crane. Really? That's wild, dude. That's serious. That must have been an extra level of crane test, no? Good for you getting that. Following through and getting that job. Oh, you guys can't see who this is, by the way. It's me. This is okay. Yeah, it'll be white and gray. And then, actually the clay company I get from, I guess the guy who mixes all the clay is going to be gone next week, from what I heard. So I will be making, probably using up the 800 pounds of red clay that I have. So that'll be next week's job, even though I have a couple more orders in the white and gray. So a little confusing, but I'm gonna have to be throwing in red. And if he doesn't come back in time, I will be doing a huge reclaim, which I have at least a ton, I would imagine, of reclaim. So that'll be a job and a half, but it'll be nice to have that done. All right, I gotta move these off to the side again, guys. Usually you do grab like 4 of these at a time, like Mr. Waiter over here. That's my dog walking around upstairs. Clip his nails all the time. His nails grow faster than any other dog I've ever met. And here, mate. It's funny, Gail, I was thinking about it the other day. I don't know if you ever seen me make the pot that I named Gail after my family. It's G-A-L-E, but I actually make a Gail pot. And one of the first pots I ever came up with when I moved here was, I named it Milton after my wife's grandfather, because that's the house we moved into, was his house. And the second pot that I came up with, I was like, well, why don't we name it after my family? And so my mother's side, so Gail was my was a maternal name. I don't know if you've ever seen me make one. Maybe I'll throw in here in a little bit so you can see what it looks like. And see if you approve. I guess it's, wow, I'd love to see it. Yeah, okay, well, I'll throw one in a, minute here. I have, oh, you know what, I'll just do it in a second here. I just have to remind myself to wedge another 2-pound pot to go with. Otherwise, the store order will get one random Gail pot. Nathan, I thought about being a potter back in high school, but decided to do pottery in my spare time instead. I was afraid of losing the fun of it. I can see that, you know, I don't know. See, my life is a lot different. I was brought up with a potter. My father was a potter, is a potter. So I was always around it. So as much as, yeah, it was fun and this and that, it also was, okay, this is somebody's job. So I was able to like assess all that stuff and see the positives and negatives and, you know, evaluate if that was going to be an issue in my mind. But then again, all the other jobs I've ever had, like, was I in love with what I was doing to begin with? No. So I went with it. I hope you love what you're doing now. It seems like a very important one. Save 15%. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. He says, do you have planters and vases have the same thickness, or your planters thicker? Planters are slightly thicker. I throw the vases a bit thinner. just slightly. So I don't want to I could make these flower pots very thin, but the functionality of them, they're not overly heavy, but I could most certainly make them very thin. But you know, I want them to last. You know, if you're making things, you need to make them for the purpose of what you're making them for, and to the best of your possible ability, so that they will last forever. And that's my personal opinion. You know, just do it the best you can for what the thing is made for. Was this? My parents should have spelled my name Gale because they named me Gail because of the sudden Gail I was born in. Oh, okay. Wow, okay. Cool. So yeah, well, let's make a Gail pot. It's been a little while since I made one. I would consider this probably one of the more classic and elegant shapes that I make, with not too much, I don't do too much decoration to this, so kind of let the shape stand for itself. But so I'll make one right now, so you can see it. Your parents got stuck in the snow on the way to the hospital, and your father, wow. Now that's the story. That's very cool. I'm glad everything went well. That is one heck of a story. So do you enjoy the cold? I guess that's the question, huh? Gail pot. Remind myself when I'm doing tons and tons of one shape and I switch it. You have the newspaper? Oh, that's so cool. So the basic shape starts with this. Then I add a bead. And I flare out the rim. And then the bottom, I add a hook. And I go back and I clean up that foot. You know, say 15% Ironman. What's Ironman from? What do you mean? Yeah, I do like the snow, and I always thought it was because of my birthday. Right. Yeah, I'm a December baby, so. Though I was born on a very, very strange and ominous night. That's the word. Yeah, I was born about, I don't know, couple hours maybe, or an hour after John Lennon passed. So I get people wishing me a happy birthday on like specific, you know, when it's the 30th or the 35th or the 40th. I'll have people actually call me on the 45th anniversary because it'll be in the paper. 45 years without John Lennon. They go, oh yeah, Ben. And it's the day after Pearl Harbor, so it's crazy. Let's see. Nathan says, yes, I enjoy my job. I guess I have a lot, or have to love making things because I do wood turning too. Nice, wood turning's awesome. So it's been will be Iron Man next week throwing red clay. Yeah, really. Good point. Black Sabbath song I'm trying to play. Nice. So there you go, Gail. That's what that's where it is. That's what the Gail is. It's got a flared out with a bead and then a nice foot. So I would say elegant. That's a lot of people that purchase these. They go, oh, this is more elegant, and I don't know. So your name is synonymous with elegance in my mind. Joyce, you got lost? What do you mean? 15, I was playing off your last text. Oh, okay, yeah. I think we all got lost. You'll get it if you learn how to play it. I need to do a practice night, and I told Joyce that I will show you guys and do a guitar practice night. I need to do it very soon because my chops are down. Actually, reminds me, somebody texted me last night if I can go and attend a get together, somewhat gig. I am not ready, so I might have to get on some practice. Actually, that's supposed to be tonight. What am I thinking? I forgot to get back to them. What a jerk I am. I really need to learn to strum and read music. I'm so bad. You know, if reading music is a problem for you, at least the tablature is really good. I'm an ear trained player, and I love the fact when I finally figure out a song without notation that I actually figured it out. So I love listening, and I love going, okay, so we're here. This is going to be in A minor. It's probably going to go over to a D or an E, maybe drop down. Here's the fifth, here's the whatever. So you don't have to know that, and it really depends on what you like to do. So for something like Iron Man, I would say that's what, D, E, or no, A, D, E, 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 F, E, F, E, D, E, E, something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. How you'll wait on is I'm buying it. Please put it aside. I'm thrilled. It's oh really? You don't need to buy another one, Gail. You do not need to buy another one. If you let me send this one to you because you bought the other one, and we'll put it off to the side for you though. Old wise owl, tabs are the way. Yeah, exactly. I mean that's all I had when I was young. My aunt was a classical cellist, but she also taught. She had actually the same guitar teacher as Paul Simon, which was crazy. So she taught me immediately where to put my hands and how to hold my hands so I didn't ruin. Make sure the thumb is in the back, center of the back of the neck of the guitar and this and that. So I learned very quickly basic stuff, and then she tried to teach me reading music, and I was like, I will not. And then she was kind of amazed that I was able to listen to something that she played and play it quicker than learning how to read it. And she said, you know, maybe you can just learn from reading or from listening. And I worked on ear training. And I think to be able to just kind of remember or think about it, listen to a song and go, you know what? That definitely sounds like it's in, a B minor. And go from there. And if you're close, the one thing I've always said to people for that stuff is when you're off and you play a wrong note, you're always a half a step away. So play that wrong note and slide it up or down in a scale when you're trying to do a solo, and you will be in the right key because you're only a half a step away. Let's see, Gail, I forgot my father signed my birth certificate. Oh, cool. Oh, very cool. Tourist tab is cool. Used to learn, use it trying to learn banjo. Oh, cool. Yeah, my father plays banjo, so I've picked it up, and with all the alternate tunings, it just throws me right off. And I quickly realized that the definition of a gentleman is somebody that can play banjo but doesn't. I'm just kidding. There's certain banjo players I love to listen to, and I like listening to my dad rip it up when he gets going. So, let's see. Can you say more about clay patina? I've heard you say you like pots that build that over time. Oh yeah. So these pots, because I do not use glaze on them, and even if I did use glaze, sometimes you would get a patina anyway. But they soak in water and soil and grow a patina. And they start to grow moss, and depending on your water and soil, it'll grow, it starts out like, say, one of these white pots here, they'll start out like yellow. It'll look kind of like disturbing, and then all of a sudden there might be a little browns that come in, and then the moss will start growing if they have high humidity. And it's just, I love it. After like one season of usage, the pot really does look like it's an antique. And they start out brand new and crisp looking, and I should be marketing these as like pots that change color, but it's just common knowledge, in my opinion, that flower pots change color, so I didn't kind of go and do that. But yeah, I hope that answers anything you had there, Keena. Am I saying your name right, Keena? Yeah. Please tell me if I'm saying your name right, because I don't want to be saying it wrong. Gail says, I need a pen. It's my namesake. Okay, I'll put it aside for you. Thank you, Gail. Safe to smart. I'll get an actual teacher one day, but I gotta get. That's your goal? A teacher for what? Guitar? Because I have to say, with this next generation, you guys have so much at your fingertips with YouTube for learning things, whatever you want to learn. There's so much right there for you to learn from people. And I'm not deterring you from getting a teacher if that's what you feel like, because being in the same room as somebody really does help. And being inspired by somebody to take you to the next level really helps. But there's so much stuff you can learn directly right here on YouTube that people used to have to take long classes for. Let's see here. Gail says, you have such a talented family. Oh, Thanks, Gail. Yeah, everybody kind of does their own thing. I mean, everybody has their stuff that they're into, and yeah, and everybody kind of does their own thing, which I think every family does. Um, art, my family it's on my father's side is more rooted in art. On my mother's side, they were, my mom like married a dairy farmer, so his talents are amazing with the farming stuff. And my mom, was a professional gardener, so her talents in the garden is pretty amazing. And then, obviously my dad being a potter, and my half sister, she dabbles in all different things, to do with art. And then, well, my full brother, he can do a lot. He isn't an artist, but man, he can do some stuff. So I consider him talented in many ways. Let's see. Joy says, I once learned Clinch Mountain backstep. Nice! Using the tune that was in my head. It helped me that I was a bass player. Yeah. Clinch Mountain. That's not, I don't know, I'm thinking of Foggy Mountain Breakdown. Not that one, right? If that made any sense. Kina says, so all your planters, do they go through one firing, the best fire? Yeah, they go higher than best, but one firing, yes. I fire them hotter than best, but not hot enough to where they are, I guess, what one would consider vitrified, if there's really such a thing. I've always felt like vitrified would be a melted blob. A true vitrification. Joy's on Mando. Yeah. Dude, when I broke out that Mando, Joyce, I had a moment of, oh my, I don't think I will be breaking out that mandolin again. Though I should, when I play guitar, Joyce, I'm going to put this one off to the side specifically for you. I had a moment of, you've got to be kidding me. I had such trouble even tuning the thing. That was an embarrassing live stream. It had been so long, and so going back and forth between guitar and mandolin, that really messed up my mind, big time. When I but I joined a band on mandolin, I was always transposing because everything's backwards basically. It's like playing solos on a bass backwards. So my brain had instantly went into crazy mode, thinking all these things, and then when I was like, okay, I'm done doing that band, I stopped that band in 2019, and I went back to my guitar mainly and was focusing on that and drums, and I was getting so confused back on my guitar. I was just like, okay, it was off the charts how crazy I was getting. And then when I broke out the mandolin that day on the live stream, I was like, no. Let's see, say 15% more. I'm horrible at self-learning is the issue. I really strive from having a teacher. Hey, that works for you then. Plus the motivating factor from someone saying good job feels amazing. Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you. I get that. I understand that. So, I mean, if that's what works for you, you kind of know the answer. I mean, you should probably grab a teacher. I mean, it really depends on what you want to learn. I mean, obviously you just said Black Sabbath you want to play, so you might find a teacher that actually instead of making you go through the basic Mel Bay's book, they can be like, hey, listen, You want to learn songs? Let's learn songs. That way you feel accomplished and whatnot, and find the right teacher. Yeah. Let's see. Interesting. Y'all should do workshops in your off season. I wish I had an off season at this point. I did a workshop last year up in Truro, Massachusetts, on Cape Cod, which is a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to do. I had a blast. Everybody said that they felt like they learned a lot. And it felt really good seeing smiles on faces. There was a couple people that were struggling, and then I helped them through a struggling part and taught them a few little tricks to get past the point that they were struggling with, and then all of a sudden the smiles were arising. So that's the thing about teaching pottery. It was one of my first. Actually, that was my first thing with a bigger group. I've definitely helped people in the past, individuals, but just seeing the joy was so cool. It was a whole different vibe. At the end of the day, you were like, oh wow, I didn't physically make that many pots, and I did. I sat there with people that were having issues, and they, took a while, but that's okay. When they finally figured out what I was trying to convey, for pottery, I literally would just ask. I'd be like, "Is it okay if I touch your hands?" And they were like, "Yep." And so I just helped them center. I helped them move. And they're like, "Oh, now I get the feeling." Then I look back the next time they were doing it, and it's like, "There, you got it." And they look up at me and smile. Let's see. Joyce says you were great for not playing it. No. The mandolin was not great. That was Joyce. There's a difference between being complimentary and lying. That was horrible. It was a bomb. I don't know why, but when my gym bro says I killed the workout, or boss says I've done a great job, that is the thing. I mean, I'm actually the opposite. I always thrived off of, that's not right. Like, I don't know, and everybody's different. So if I did something and somebody that I knew what they were talking about said, no, that is not correct, you need to rectify that, I thrived on that. I was like, okay, I need to change that. So I can understand. So I get that feeling, and I've had that feeling of complimentary things. They're 15%, like at the end of gigs, when people will be like, man, that was an awesome gig. So that is a whole different ball game. So that is cool. You finish your gig, you're like kind of shot, you're tired, and all these people come up and be, man, you killed it. That was awesome. This and that. Now in that case, that was fun. So getting that kind of verification that you did something right from random people and whatnot is cool. Wasn't my driving force for doing what I love to do, but so I mean, everybody learns different. 15, and I totally understand what you're saying. Jasmine, hey, how's it going? Welcome back. 15 says, I probably need to learn from the beginning. Oh, I have such a wide range of music that I like. To Rob Zombie. Well, yeah, that is a range. But I mean, hey, that's what I did when I was young. I was, I don't know what age you are, but for me, learning wise is when I was young. I started, like, my dad only knew like a couple Buddy Holly songs, so I learned that, and then I was like, quickly on to Hendrix and Stevie Winwood and Eric Clapton and all those guys, and then went into a metal phase and went into From out of the metal phase, I instantly went into a, I guess, jam band phase, you'd consider it. And then directly out of the jam band phase, I went into more of a fusion, jazz fusion stuff. Then out of the jazz fusion, I went into jazz, and then out of jazz, I went back to my roots and kind of got back into certain rock stuff. And then I was in the jazz fusion or funky kind of stuff for a very long time. There was a wide range of 70s jazz fusion that really just was so much to work on for me. Like Mahavishnu Orchestra, I learned a ton of their stuff. Yeah, wow. I'm just trying to go back in my head now. Yeah, all the George Duke and Billy Cobham stuff. And I was very into that. Jeff Beck was probably my favorite. I would probably still say Jeff Beck is one of my favorites. It's funny because a lot of the guitarists that are my favorites, I don't learn their stuff. Like Derek Trucks. Love him. Loved him since we're about the same age, and I saw him back when it was like the three of them. It was him, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, and what is it, Lang. And I saw all three of them, and I was like, well, that Derek Trucks guy is going to be the guy. And everybody was like, no, it's going to be Kenny Wayne Shepherd. I'm like, nope, it's going to be Trucks. And then years later, he's the most paid guitarist, and he's killing it. Joyce, I'm not lying. Your talent was very telling. Wow, okay, Joyce. I felt like that was a complete failure, but through failure comes something, usually, right? I don't know what the sentence is. Nothing beats in-person teaching, learning. I took a workshop in the fall, and now I feel confident throwing a 3K. Nice. And now I'm capable of throwing bigger. Yeah, that is the thing. So having somebody push you into doing something that's out of your comfort zone is key, in my personal opinion. And anybody that I would teach, yeah, sure, I'll start them with the basic 1 pound pot. But then from the 1 pound, I won't go to 2. I'll make them throw like a 4 or 5 pound pot. Let them struggle, and then bring them back to the 2 pound, and then they'll be like, oh, and that pot will fly right up. So challenging is I think is a key thing, and that's great. And there's different things for different styles of things. I mean, we're talking about learning pottery. We're also talking about learning music. So kind of totally two different animals. Very relatable because they're skills that you need to learn in specific ways for certain people. But at the same time, they are two different animals. Though, there's a lot of stuff that would be similar if you knew both. I would say the biggest thing that was very similar about that would be tension and release. There's so much tension in a buildup of a song. It builds, it builds, it builds, it releases. Same with the pots. Tension, tension, right here. Full up tension. Now, the release. It's just a tension and release and a movement. And if with pottery, you do this, you start to go, it turns into a conductor. You start to think about it. Jasmine said, I tried to send over a super chat, but I don't know my security code, so I can't. Oh, no worries. You don't have to send a super chat, but thank you so much for even thinking of it. It's nice of you. I'm really not doing all this for monetary gain. I kind of just got to a point where it's like, yes, it's nice to, show people the work, and if people want to purchase the work, awesome. It's just another avenue to do it, but I'm kind of at the point in my life, you know, in my mid-40s, where it's like, what's wrong with sharing some info with people? To a point. What's wrong with it? And it's kind of fun. I enjoy talking to every single one of you that come in here. You know, there's some people that pop in from time to time that can be a bit trolly, but I have fun with them too. So, let's see. Jasmine says, "How long have you been doing this live? Because it won't notify me anymore." Oh, really? It says it started an hour ago, which I don't think that was. I've been going. Actually, it says it right there. 71 minutes. So yeah, I don't know. Check your notifications, and I don't know how your notifications are set up. Whether you get a drop down thing on your phone, if it just pops up like a notification, or if you have it set up for your email, or your notifications can be set up differently. But sometimes they do that. I can tell they do that. There's a lot of people come in and say, "Hey, I didn't get to my notification for this." It's like, okay. I don't know why YouTube isn't sending out the notification, but other people did get the notification. Like Gail, Joyce, did you guys get a notification? It's a good thing to figure out. Yourselves, but I don't know why. Well, if you hit the bell thing and it'll say like personalize or let you know all notifications, and if you really want to be bothered with all of them, you could hit all, and that will probably make it work for you. Which I mainly just kind of been doing lives, some shorts, some long forms, and then once in a while a community post. You know, like pictures or whatnot. Gail says they got a notification. Joyce says, yep. Okay, you guys got notifications. Cool. I don't know why they're singling you out then, Jasmine. While I play online Scrabble, I don't get notifications. Okay, so if you're on YouTube, you might not get the notification coming up if you're already on it. That's happened to me when I've been watching something else, and then you know, Fresh Cup of Joel comes up. It doesn't just come up. I close my thing out and it says he's live. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't get a notification he was live. I was watching some other podcast or something. And I'm waiting for Muirhead to pop back on. Hope he's doing well. I've also been watching Swan City a lot. They're great. Let's see. I think it notifies me when it's finished. Oh, it notifies you when it's finished. Strange. That's weird. What's it, Friday? What choice? Maybe tomorrow. After I have to finish, I'm going to be finishing this order tomorrow. I have to do a batch of 4-pound pots, the same shape. So I probably will go live doing that. And then, so maybe tomorrow or Sunday, closer to the evening, maybe I'll do a live guitar practice, because I've been promising, and I think it's due time. I also have to find out if the way I practice will throw any copyrights. So it'll all be a trial and error. And I also will need to figure out volume control for everything. Jasmine, oh yeah, Swan City. Yeah, no, Swan City's great. They're awesome. Shout out to them for sure. Bonsai, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. I am doing a store order today. What's going on here. Normally, I don't do what I just did, but if you guys even noticed. So it sounds good. Yeah, yeah. It's due time. I promised you a lot, and plus, I really need the practice. That's something that's been going on. Actually, to be honest with you, last night I had it in my dream. I was kind of, why aren't you playing guitar? Blah, blah, blah. It was just a whole thing. Yep. I woke up going, man, why am I not putting in? Because I probably put in more hours, really, than everything else I did in life playing my guitar. Just after a certain time of night, I would just go down the basement and I would plug in, or I would drive to friends' houses and play and all this stuff. And it's just, life has turned into just straight up work, which is great. I'm grateful for it 100%, but there's some kind of void missing without the music part of my life. There's a big hole. Sounds good. I don't even know what that acronym means, but I'm doing well, staying warm inside today. Yeah, it's cold everywhere. It's cold even all the way over and down by you, huh? I'm really waiting for, I'm so ready for spring. I'm sure we all are. Everybody in here. This winter has put a toll on a lot of people. I could speak for myself anyway. I need sunshine. I need vitamin D to my face. I'm losing it. Joyce, I just ordered a guitar chair. Hopefully it will inspire me to start playing. Nice. So it has like a back. I've always used my drum throne. I play drums as well, so I've always used my drum throne for my guitar. And it's always been it doesn't have a back, but I kind of wish it did. I probably could get an attachment for it. It's called a rock and sock drum throne. Maybe I could get a back for it. That'd be nice. But see, it's so funny with guitar because, especially electric guitar, you get used to playing sitting down, and then all of a sudden you're playing a gig standing up. You're like, okay, wait a minute, my arms, everything's off. And I don't think a lot of people like hearing or seeing an electric guitar player sitting down, mainly. Unless it's specific styles of music. But if you're rocking out, or if you're doing some fast fusion stuff, or whatever it may be, kind of feel like you should be standing. But for me, for practice mode, we'll be sitting. I'll be sitting. I hope you enjoy that guitar chair, Joyce. It's awesome. Jasmine said it's always cold in the UK. Oh, I mean, when I went there, it oddly wasn't. This is all the way back in 2001. And everybody's like, it's just rains there the whole time. And it didn't rain for 17 days we were there. It didn't rain. And everybody we met were like, you Americans brought over the nice weather. Please don't go home. We're like, okay. But we did go home. We have no idea what happened after that. But I loved it. One day I will go back. I was on Instagram Live the other day, or yesterday, and I was talking with Gabriel Nichols, who is one of my, I've been very interested in what he's been doing. And he was yapping back and forth with me on the Instagram Live, which was so much fun to see somebody that you've been looking up to. And apparently he's been looking up to me, which is, I was like, whoa, okay. So that was a cool conversation. I believe he's outside of Hull. I have to look up exactly where he is, but in my head, that's where he's at. That's just, I could be spreading misinformation. Liquid stand company. Okay, I'll check it out. It's a whole different ball game, sitting versus standing. Sure is. And Jasmine, how did it not rain? I don't know. We cast a spell. I have no idea. It did not rain whatsoever. It rained alcohol upon us Americans. I can tell you that much. Turned into a pub crawl. I was young. I was, yeah, I was 20. So I was, or was it 20 or, yeah, I was 20 years old. So, yeah. Wow. It's just so funny because I don't drink. But when I'm in my youth, that was quite interesting going over there. And I was like, yeah, everybody said, don't trust the water, drink alcohol. So I listened. Whether right or wrong that was. Yeah. I love it though. We flew into Manchester, went around all of Yorkshire. And it was on Guy Fawkes Day, so we're driving around. I'm like, what are all these bonfires? So that was a funny story to hear what that was all about. And then we headed up to Lake District, ended up in Kendal for a little bit. Beautiful town. But we kept staying at pubs, actually, you know, which is totally different than the States here. They don't have what they'd say bed and breakfasts over pubs in the States here. That was quite nice. What I actually got from that, oddly enough, aside from the beauty of the land and the potteries we stopped at, the castles, this and that, I learned that I really enjoyed coal heat. The smell of a coal burning stove in a pub was, I don't know. There's just nothing like it. There's just nothing like it. Well, thank you guys for all the 42 likes today. Very kind of you. Those are great memories, Ben. Yeah, no, I mean, some of them are a little hazy, but they were. And it was 17 days, so we really got to check out the stuff. I wish we went south, because really, I mean, England is, it's not that big. I mean, it kind of is the size of New England, so you could really get everywhere if you wanted to. So I wish we went south and stuff and checked out stuff, but I don't know. maybe it's a thing for a future trip again. Though if I am gonna head back over that way, I would like to hit up Italy. Love to hit up Impruneta and Florence and all these places that make pots. See some of that stuff. Be a normal kind of tourist and see all the regular stuff too. The Colosseum, all that stuff. I have never seen it in person, so that would be one of my trips. Well, though, and I have also never seen turquoise water yet at the age of 45, so I do need to hit up the Caribbean or Hawaii or something like that at some point. So all these things I have on a bucket list. You know, still gotta make that. I gotta grab one of those 5-gallon buckets and write them all down on the side of the bucket. Joy says, my grandparents had a coal furnace. You just brought back a great memory. Isn't it? It's just a certain smell and vibe and feel, and every pub we stayed in just had one, and I was just like, man, there's something about the smell I just loved it. Felt right too. I don't know, whatever. It's kind of like wood stove, but the smell is completely different, obviously. Oh my God, every day I'm frantically scrolling through your channel trying to see if you're live. Oh, you are? You gotta figure out the bell notification, sorry. I don't have a exact time that I go live. You guys, I have to just send off a text real quick if you don't mind. It'll take me 2 seconds. Very important. Sorry about that. June 7th. Hello. Hey, how's it going? Have a nice day. All right, see you later. Hello and goodbye. Okay. Yeah, Joy says, Jasmine, look at the bell and see what it says. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. So you can go to my channel page, hit the bell and see what it says. That way you can be notified properly. Oh, am I already done with these? Oh, hang on. I made a Gail pot, so I have to make one more of these. Because I weighed out 20. And I do need 20 of these. Oh, you know what I have to do? Like, I'm trying to think of like the practice session. I will probably have to hook up a Bluetooth speaker with, because I play a lot along with guitarless tracks or whatnot. So I'm just thinking about doing a practicing instead of just sitting there and noodling. I do need to practice along with some stuff. So, but I know I can't practice along with actual songs because that will throw up a copyright, and I don't want to get in any trouble. Let's see. Okay, I tried going a minute. It took me off the live. I was scared. I couldn't find it, but I did eventually. Random questions. Yeah, you can make that. No problem. Yep. I wouldn't suggest it because you can't see what's going on the inside. Jasmine, don't worry about it. You're probably not old enough. Joyce, Gail, good catch. Let's see. There you go. Gail says, I went to Barcelona to see Mosaic. Oh, cool. I written a post, or on a post it to my refrigerator for over 10 years. Took my son moving out there to get me. Oh, that's cool. Just a reminder every day. You looked at it and we're like, okay. And then every day you're like, I don't know if I can. And then, wait a minute. Did your son look at the post? Post it on the refrigerator for the 10 years and then he decided to go over there? Did you subliminally get him to go over there? Oh, goodness. I'm just wondering if you think that's a possibility. Yeah, it's my first dice. Oh, that's funny. Wait a minute. What did I miss here? Go again. Okay, I don't know. All right, so I got to make one more of these, and then I have to do some big pots. All right, one more, then big pots. I don't need many of them. I think I only need 4 of them. I have to make sure. Go look. I wasn't sure that's a good point of not being able to see. Well, yeah, you can't see not just what the water's like, but what everything else is like. There's going to be a black cloud of insanity, which I don't partake in. I haven't partaken in that in decades at this point. So, but when I was younger, I would have been dumb enough to use a ceramic one. Gail, visit to Vienna. He arranged the side. Oh, he arranged the side trips. Yep, so cool. Jasmine says, I gotta go. May come back later if you're still alive. Okay, sounds good. Thanks for tuning in, Jasmine. Always appreciate you. Hope you have a good rest of your day if we don't see you back in here. I don't know what I have for time left anyway. I don't know. I gotta finish up these. I wanted to get a big portion of this order done before I went on to going in packing orders. So, and there's no real point in me live streaming packing orders. It'd be a noise, a tape, and me unable to talk to you guys. It'd be fun. Plus, I can't really show you guys who is ordering, so it would probably, the camera would probably pick up people's names and addresses, and that's not good. That wouldn't be nice. Gail says, all three of us went. He was so happy I got to see them. I had made 2 huge mosaics for a kitchen wall. Oh, cool. For a kitchen, nice. That's cool. I've yet to, I mean, I think I made one slight one. Actually, I used shards way back. I'm talking 90s. I made a mosaic out of shards, to be honest with you. So it looked really cool. I liked it. It wasn't anything that big. But I've literally thought from time to time that it would be fun to do a mosaic project between my if I had time. Like I've been thinking about that a lot, guys. I've been thinking about like how much time I do with pottery, and obviously it's my job, so I'm pretty much 90%, 100% of the time, not even 90, it's 100% of the time is literally just work and making specific things for sale. But how much time I have not put into things that used to be really fun to do, like making wacky faces and making sculptural things, and you know, doing a mosaic would be so fun to do, and you know, just having a fun day, a pottery fun day, and trying to work that into the mix of my life would be a lot of things I want to do. Apparently, I want to practice. I need to practice more guitar, and I need to have a pottery fun day. Not that this isn't fun, but you guys understand what I'm saying, I hope. All right, let me move these to the side, and then I need to have a hydration break. All right, I'll sit down with you guys for a second because I gotta hydrate. Hopefully that's okay. And you guys aren't like, he's not constantly working. I'm out of here. It's really cool though, Gail. I think that's really cool. Anyway, what was this? I made each tile, and they were like, yeah, sculptures, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was just picturing in my head. You saw me making them. Took me over years. I was working at the time. Nice. Take a rest, Gail says. Yeah, just a quick one. Just a quick one. Just need water. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how long it would take for a 4 foot by 3 foot mosaic with tiles. I mean, were you doing a lot of sgraffito work in the tile itself? Mark, make a totem pole. Out of wood? Here, I made a water bottle for you. A spinning water bottle. You will now not need a totem pole made. I know you're probably trying to be funny, but I've actually, back in the day, we used to carve totem poles. We had nothing to do. So we made our own knives, and then we made our own totem poles. So, but I know you're trying to make probably a perverted joke is what my guess is. I could be wrong. All right, so quick break is over. That's how breaks happen around in this neck of the woods. 2 sips of water, sit down. All right, good enough. Get back to it. Get back to work. I don't know. Wait, Mark, I get a lot of these people asking for, perverted ideas. Gail, a little of everything. This was in 99, 2000. Cool. That's probably around the time where I made the mosaic. I don't even know where that thing ended up. I think that might have ended up in a customer's hand. So It wasn't that big though. It was probably like, I don't know, a foot by 2 feet or something like that. 1 by 2. It was definitely rectangular, and yeah, probably about a foot by 2 feet. It was simplistic. It was not, I did not decorate every single tile. And like I said, it was mainly shards. So I just took shards and put them all together and made a very strange looking mosaic. And I'd love to do something like that again, not with shards though. Okay, this is not sitting right. Glad I caught that before I went full out. All right, some bigger pots. There we go. Now we make garden stacks. Oh, cool. A garden totem, yeah. Flo, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. I didn't realize how long it would take. Oh, I know to do that. Well, you carved each, you sgraffitoed in each one, in each tile. I have a friend, well, acquaintance more so. Her name is Elizabeth McDonald. She's actually been on the cover of Clay magazine and all that stuff. And she does mosaics. And yeah, does some amazing work. And every time I've seen them, I'm like, those are cool. But you do kind of in your head go, wow, it must have taken a lot of time, a lot of commitment. Flo says, I'm doing well. How about yourself? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Can already feel that this bat is gonna give me issues. Yeah, see? Well, I had to say the word. I don't know if anybody can see that anyway. If that's what you're seeing there, Megalodina, or whatever your name is, I'm sorry, that's all you see in life, everywhere you look. You know, there's doctors that might be able to help you with that. No, some is stamped and some is sculptured, underglaze, etc. Oh, okay, cool. Do I see it? Oh yeah, there's a comment that pops up that was held for review because I have certain words that I have blocked, and somebody made a comment with one of those words in there that rhymes with Venus. I've never tried to rhyme that word. And it was probably because I just said something. Alright, so this is a 6-pound piece. I'm just carving away at the inside, creating a 90-degree, actually, yeah, about a 90-degree spot just so I can grab the clay and lift it from there. Here we go with the first pull. Now I'm lost, Joyce. Okay, yeah. Oh no, the bat wobble. Okay, yeah, no, I fixed that. Okay, good. Yeah. So somebody actually made a comment that was held for review that none of you guys got to see. So I was responding to them, and then, but yes, the bat warble I rectified. So hopefully that clarifies anything. But what they had said rhymes with that word. Number 3 for bingo card. Yeah, you're right. I know. We gotta get, okay, so we gotta figure this out. Joel and I have developed the enough of the words for this, or the questions or the statements. But now we need to figure out how everybody that partakes in the lives, or if it's just going to be the potters that can partake in the bingo, that can actually see when that happens. So it was that is definitely one that's on the bingo card. %. It's nonstop. It's a bit childish, but at the same time, when people really don't have a good sense of humor, I could think of much funnier things to say to a potter coming in. But that's, I guess, because I know pottery, so. But even just random people, I could think of much funnier things that are not gross or whatever. Joyce, oh, I'm better now. Are you? Yeah. Okay. Did I get a little too crazy? Sorry. I needed to explain myself a little more. Mrs. Harry, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in, as always. Nice to see you again. Thank you guys for the 50 likes today. It's nice of you. So here's a 6-pound version of that pot that I was doing. Pretty good here. Let me just check how many I need of these. 4. Okay, I only need 4 of these, so. I am a bit crazy about getting these to be very clean and compressed. I don't know why. I don't so when I dry these, I don't really touch the sides. I don't like fingerprints, so when the pot comes up, I'll just kind of touch the rim, flip it over, and then once it dries enough, I can kind of pick it up from the drainage hole in the side and pick them up. So the majority of the time, I am not touching the side of the pot at all. In fact, at all. All the way until the pot's out. And even then, I usually just grab it by the rim. So it's just a habit I've formed, because I'm not a big fan of showing fingerprints. Because if I went like that and picked up the pot right now, it'd be fine. I could get it off the wheel, no problem. But it would just leave all these indented handprints. I just don't like it. I don't like it. Gail says, it looks very good. You're a wonderful potter. Oh, thanks, Gail. You're always so nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's always just repetitious lifestyle. Something you do over and over. Though I haven't made these in a little bit. I think it's probably been, a couple months since this style? I don't know. Maybe not. I feel like I did make an order live on here with this style. Maybe it was, before Christmas, something like that. Somebody ordered. What do you want me to say? Is that something like if I say it wrong, Yeah, number 4. Exactly. It sounds something. It looks and sounds like something that would probably be not nice for me to say, but I don't know. Sound it out, Ben. Please, please, please. Is it your name? Well, then why don't you change your name to it? Say my name, say my name. Sorry, it looks like pottery's a bit messy. Yeah, sure is. I used to make terracotta jewelry as a hobby. But it's not that messy to work with. Yeah, it gets to be, it's a messy job, but that's okay. And it's only on my pottery clothes. Like my even my pants and stuff, they're clean. Well, maybe they're not today. No, these are getting, these will be getting. So you guys might notice, I actually have like probably 6 or 7 pairs of these same pants. So don't think I'm just wearing the same old dirty pants every day. I do wear the same old shirt, however. But I actually have 6 or 7 of the same thing because I'm just a simple man. I wear things that I could wear. I have my black T-shirt on underneath this, which I have stacks of those, and I have a stack of these pants. I don't need much else, and I have a few pairs of jeans and some dress clothes, a couple suits, and that's all I need. So if you were ever wondering, like, hey, he wears the same pants every day. Filthy guy. Gotta fix the wobble on the old bat again. Hey, I'm a fan of you. Then say, hey, Melissa. Hey, Melissa. There, I'll say with Melissa. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. I felt like you were trolling me into saying something. Hey, Melissa, sound good? You want me to sing Sweet Melissa by Allman Brothers? Crossroads seem to come and go. To Sweet Melissa, yeah. So what I'm doing right now, guys, I don't know, for the people that have watched me a lot, and I'm actually working on getting this angle of the pot to be exactly what I want it to be, so for stackability, because I can stack these flower pots together in the kiln and elsewhere, packing, for display. But what I want the bottoms to do, I want the bottom of the flower pot to hit right about here. So it needs to go in and hit right about here on the inside. And this is a strong, kind of a strong point in the pot, like structurally. Because if it just kind of slid down in, it'd be hanging on the walls and poking out and this and that. So there's a whole thing about making them for stackability that I never really talk about. Yeah, well, I guess the reason I never really talk about it is because it took forever to figure out little things like that. Because I can get these to stack about 5 high in the kiln. So I guess it's a trick of the trade that I just gave up. So there you go. Yeah, those ribs are strong. Well, the taller one is a metal rib, which I just like having a taller rib for. Yeah, it's a piece of ducting actually that I carved or cut into the shape that I want. Gives me the right specific angle that I was looking for. And then the other rib is just a finishing rib. But yeah, they're all pretty strong. Joyce says, how tall is this pot? This pot is about, right now it's about 9.5 inches tall. Closer to 10, it will shrink when it dries and expels all the water. But they all have to be the same size. So, and I have a 10-inch, just about 10.25 inch span on my fingers. So that's how I know. That's how I know. I guess this is the biggest pot we've ever seen you make. No. I made a, what was the pot the other day? It was like a 14-pound pot, wasn't it? Or something? Pretty sure? Big wide ones. Oh, and I didn't even tell you guys. Those two, the ones that were here, probably Gail, maybe Joyce. Those two or three big wide ones I made, I left in front of the fan like a complete and utter just bungling moron, in my opinion, whatever. And the bottom's cracked. So there was some failure that occurred, which luckily it was first thing in the morning. I came down and went, oh my God, you didn't do that. And I did. So actually this might be, oh, that's fine. Even still, let's clean up this bat, put it off to the side, and then work with another one. So that cracked, and luckily it was first thing in the morning, so it's kind of like, oh, this one's broken, and I just came over and smashed it. But that was the first time in a very long time that I had cracking. So, yeah. Of course, I think I said it knocked on wood. Like, it's been so long since I had cracking, and somebody asked me that in one of the lives, and it really was a very long time that came to an end right there. So I got to remember it. Next time somebody asks, when's the last time a pot cracked on you? The bottom cracked, which would have been fine, really. I probably could have kept it and planted it up and used it, but no, I am quality control, so that had to go. I guess Diana says, that is cool. That's my first name. Or, this is my first time? Your first time here? Cool. Nice, well, welcome to you. What is the shrinkage rate of this stoneware? It feels like it's probably around, 7.5%, something like that. Somewhere in there. I don't really know, to be honest with you. I don't know the exact shrinkage rate. Because I kind of just make to a specific size, the pots end up being, well, I mean, I guess I could probably do the math and really figure it out. No, I'm not too worried about it because I don't take orders that say, hey, can you make it exactly, 6 1/8? No, I don't do that. So, all right, let's get another one of these done. Gail said, "Oh no, Joyce, not bad. Yeah, cracks happen." Miss Harry says, and Mr. Stream, yeah, I made some bigger, like really wide. Maybe just one at the end or something. I forget what it. No, it was two of them. I did two at the end, or three. What did I do? I did three because of the stack. It needed to be a 3-stack. It was 3 of them. So I will actually make more of those. But the problem is that right now it is so dry. Fans are not. Cold and dry makes things really dry quickly. So what I needed to do, and I knew it, I just didn't. I leave my I leave my phone in another room at night so I can actually sleep. But anyway, I should have set a timer and woke up around 1, 2 in the morning, and flipped them over, and got them out of the fans. I did not. They shouldn't have been in the fans. That's what the problem was. But I said to myself when I was done with the live, like, oh, I'll come back down and move those off to the side, because I instantly went after that live. I went and packed a bunch of orders, and then went and had dinner with the wife. We were like, all right, I think we're done. And then we had a couple more orders, but I totally forgot to come back over here and take care of something very important. Jerry says, what about covering them? Yeah, I could cover them, but I also want them to dry a little bit, just not. See, the thing with them is it really doesn't matter how quick it's drying. It's air underneath the pot. So I needed to get them off of the bat and upside down and on slatted boards. And then it really wouldn't have mattered how fast the pot dried from there. So that's one of the tricks. Another trick of the trade. Because if you only have the top drying, then you will have definite cracks on the bottom. So the top will dry faster than the bottom. But if it's all drying somewhat evenly and not too fast, you'll be good. But covering them works to keep the humidity in, obviously. So if I did want to slow them down. And there's so many different ways you can do that too. If you wanted to slow down a pot from drying. An old trick I used to use on smaller items. Just throw a 5-gallon bucket upside down on top of it. That's a good trick. Gail, that's good to know. Yeah, it's just one of those little tricks that, I don't know. I just remember my dad always throwing stuff on, wrapping them in, plastic bags and all this stuff. And one day I was just like, why are you doing that? Why don't you just throw a 5-gallon bucket over it? He's like, really? That's not going to work. I'm like, yeah, let's do it with one of mine. It's kind of That way the bag isn't even touching the wares if you don't want them to touch. But all that moisture is being held right inside that bucket and it can't go anywhere. So it might even be better. More of a solid connection for no air to get at it. Nathan, how big a kiln do you have, or how many do you have? I have 2 kilns that are about 10 cubic feet each. So I have 2 KM 1227 Scott kilns. Yeah, they're my go-to. I love Scott kilns. I've been very happy with them. My first Scott kiln lasted me 20 years, guys. I got 20 years out of the Scott kiln. I rebuilt over and over, fixed everything myself, nonstop. And I can't tell you how many firings, but there was a ton of them. In fact, that one kiln paid for everything for my life for 20 years. So it's pretty crazy to think about. So, and the new Scotts, I don't know, I've looked into doing a newer Scott. I really don't like the idea of having a digital readout pad. I'm not a fan of that. Though maybe it'll work out fine if that ever happens, but I really like the tried and true regular readout. It's not like, it looks like an iPad on the side of the kiln. It's like, no, I don't want that. It's funny, my dad and I, yesterday, we were talking on the phone for probably about an hour, and we were talking about all the equipment that we've had throughout the years, and what he started with, and then what I started with, and how many kilns he's had, and how many wheels, and it was just such a kind of a fun, reminiscing thing. Like we were talking about, like one of the first times that I threw pots, I actually threw pots on a wheel that my grandmother, his mother, had, because she wasn't a potter per se, but she did make pots, and she would make little ashtrays. So when I was kind of first going as a little kid, I used that wheel for a little bit, but then we got to what happened, and I believe this wheel I got in 1999. And then my red wheel over there, I was gifted by Shimpo when I went on the Martha Stewart show in 2006, 2007. I went on her live NBC show, and they caught wind and said, if you put the name of the wheel on the outside, we'll send you a free wheel to use. So, but really, if you think about it, this wheel here from 1999, how many pots has it made? It's just kind of cool. The quality build of Shimpo for me is, I can't give enough praise, that's all. George, I was going to go to my daughter's house to pick up my trailer, but would rather be here. You should pick up your trailer. This is going to be the last spot. So, do it up, Joyce. Life comes first. Come on. I'm not taking any offense. It's always a pleasure to have you here, but you got to get a trailer. You got to get a trailer. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, it was cool to go through the whole conversation. It was a very reminiscent, like, wow. And how many kilns my dad abused versus me having one kiln for the last 20 years. He's not very mechanical or electrical based, like he can't fix things, so plus he did some funny things with them that so he went through a lot more kilns in that same time frame. But it's very interesting to think about it. And then the only thing I have to tell, like, anybody that's starting out, the only thing I wish I did was at the end of every day, it didn't matter what size the pots were, blah, 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 blah. I could figure out every year how much clay I used, but I can't figure out how many pots I made. So I wish every day I had like a little, you know, just a pad of paper or something that I wrote down how many every day. That way I could look back and say, wow, I professionally have made pots since 1999 and I've made this many pots. So anybody starting out, I would suggest you do that so that you can literally look back. Like I said, it doesn't matter the size. It could be little tiny pots. It could be really big pots. But just having a number in your head of how many pots you've made in your lifetime. My father and I kind of were talking about that. And, you know, he was saying, we were talking about, you know, yes, he's probably made more pots than me because he's his age. But he didn't start out as a production potter until his 40s, probably, where he really started production. And in when he was 40s is when I kind of started my production. So, you know, if we have a similar lifespan, it'll be very interesting to know. And we were kind of like easily 100,000 pots so far in my life, which sounds insane, but probably right. I don't know. I just don't know. I wish I did know an exact number. I know I could start today. Joyce, hello, I'm trying to procrastinate here. Oh, you're trying to. Oh, you're blaming it on me? Ben Wolff needs me in the chat. I can't go get the... You're right, Gail. I can start today, and then at least know that number. So, yeah. Okay, you're right. The thing is when you're younger, like, so when I was in my early 20s, man, I flew, like, these 6-pound pots, I would do, I don't know, 60 of those in a day, no problem, without being sore. Not a problem. Nowadays, you know, 40 of those is a bit of a problem. And I don't even need to make that because the kiln can't hold that. So it ends up being, how many of those can I fit in the kiln? And there's no point in making, I mean, yes, there's a point in making more than that, but there's also not, because you can get ahead of yourself and not have anywhere to put these items for drying. And in that case, you're out of space, and you're kind of, what's the point? You might as well make a kiln load a day And I'm only going to fire 1 kiln a day. Firing 2 kilns a day is too much electricity to use. But thank you guys all for the 61 likes that you gave today while watching. Anybody that subscribed, all the nice comments. I always appreciate every single one of you. And I'm not just saying that, I really do mean it. It's a nice thing to do and have nice people in here. So, and even the ones that checked off the old bingo card for us. Gotta love the internet, guys. What would we do without it? Would we go back to actually spending time with our family? I wish I could tell you it gets better. Oh yeah, I know. Oh, trust me, I know. It does get better. You can just say it. You don't have to mean it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. And tomorrow I have to make, hang on, how many do I have to do? 20 of the 4-pound pots to finish off that order. I also have to pack a kiln. I have, I think, 6 orders to pack. Blah, 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 blah. So I'll be on here making pots at some point. But yeah, thank you guys, and hope you have a good rest of your, a good rest of your day. All right, take care. Thank you. Hit the button, man.